First of all, if whatever is being spoken about is related to something other than project management, which it probably is, whoever is in charge of that design area should be speaking, or that working area, I mean. So if it's about quality control, if it's about bridge design, if it's about community relations, it shouldn't be the project manager speaking almost ever. The project manager should be there asking questions. But as far as lecturing goes, I think it's really important to have workshops, to have brainstorming sessions, to have work sessions, so that it's not always one voice being heard, and you really give everybody a chance to add their thoughts to it and to actually do those things. Like maybe you ask your bridge engineer to set up a workshop about some of the basic aspects of design, so whoever wants to can be involved, because you'll find that people are interested in all aspects of the project, even if they're, say, the fundraising manager. So just creating space to actually do tasks, especially with engineers, they like to do things and not just hear about them. And I think for a lot of people, that's a more valuable learning experience.
I mean, there's just going to be some stuff where it's got to be a brain dump. It's got to be one-way communication, right?
Yeah.
But the other things that I would encourage are having meeting agendas that go out, and you can assign different people different sections of the meeting to lead. And some of those things can be standard, right? You're gonna have the same agenda topics every time, whether that's a general update, if that's a safety moment, a review of action items from the previous meeting. Those are things that you can kind of delegate to other people to get more voices in. The other thing that you can do as a project manager is to ask specific probing questions. So it would be like, hey, Kate, what do you think about how we're implementing this plan? What potential issues do you see with that? Or how do you think the community would react to that? And you might already kind of have the answers in your head, but what's really hard as a leader is to understand that you don't have to have all the answers, as I mentioned earlier, and that actually it's a better tactic sometimes to get other people to come up with the answers themselves rather than have you just tell them. And so that might be another way to do it, is just asking specific probing questions to get other thoughts in the room. And sometimes those thoughts might be pretty influential on what you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
And what you're also trying to do is you're trying to build you're trying to diversify the thoughts in the room, right? If you've got one person that's just leading the whole plan, you've only got one brain in a room of 10 people that's working, right? You want to be able to engage all 10 people there.
We kind of have a structure at our university of we have 3 different teams. So we have a design team, a campus events team, and an executive team. So every once in a while we have meetings where we get all those teams together, and I know, or the leaders in the group know kind of what's going on in all the teams, but it's nice to kind of give other people the chance to talk about what they're doing. So instead of just having the leaders update on what's going on in all the groups, we give each group the chance to give an update on what they're doing. And even at just general executive meetings, if there's something someone has been working on, letting them talk about their own tasks rather than just updating everyone on what is going on. And the other note I had about this one was using your resources. So things like BDU and the courses being offered now through EIA are a great way of a more individualized kind of learning for EIA. So rather than you having to give people all the information, you can just kind of send people to go learn the information on their own time. And it doesn't necessarily all have to come from the leaders within the group.